I had a bit of a crisis last Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
It started innocently enough. I sat down, cup of coffee, planning to watch just one 15-minute video on YouTube about Roman concrete.
A noble pursuit.
Just wanted to know about the Pantheon. Simple, right?
And I'm guessing it wasn't simple.
I have no idea because autoplay kicked in and the algorithm, it just knows me too well.
Ah, the classic rabbit hole.
Next thing I know, it's 2 a.m., my coffee's cold, and I'm like 3 hours deep into quantum entanglement.
Of course.
But here's the thing. While I was watching, I felt like a genius. I was nodding along, thinking, yes, the wave function collapses, obviously.
You feel so productive in the moment.
I went to bed feeling like I'd just downloaded a PhD into my brain
And then you woke up.
and couldn't explain a single thing. Not the concrete, not the quantum physics. It was all gone, just vaporized.
That is the perfect description of what psychologists call the illusion of competence. The illusion of competence. Yeah, your brain tricks you. Because you recognize the information, you think you've learned it, but you haven't. You've just, consumed it.
It's the YouTube Academy trap. We binge educational content like it's a Netflix show.
And retain just about as much. It's passive consumption masquerading as education. And that exact frustration, that gap between watching and knowing, is the problem our topic today is trying to solve.
Today we're looking at Miyagi Labs. They're a startup YC Winter 2026 batch, and they are making this massive, almost arrogant promise.
It is a big one.
They claim they can take that passive video scrolling and turn it into a rigorous, interactive, university-level course.
And the really wild part, for any video, not just stuff made for their platform, anything on YouTube.
Which is just a huge concept. And to set the vibe here, their launch demo, they explicitly say this is calculus, not karate.
A nice little nod to Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid.
Right. Wax on, wax off. But instead of muscle memory for blocking a kick, it's for, linear algebra.
Precisely. But underneath that pop culture stuff, they're actually trying to solve a really serious, decades-old problem in education. It's called Bloom's Two Sigma problem.
Okay, let's unpack that. I saw that term, Bloom's Two Sigma. Sounds like a fraternity. What is it?
So it comes from this famous study by Benjamin Bloom back in the 80s. He compared teaching methods, standard classroom lectures versus one-on-one tutoring.
And
The results were staggering. He found the average student with a one-on-one tutor performed 2 standard deviations better.
2 standard deviations. I haven't taken stats in a while, so translate that for me.
It's massive. It's roughly the difference between getting a C and an A+. The average tutored student did better than 98% of the students in the regular class.
Wow. So tutoring isn't just a little better, it's a cheat code.
It is. But here's the problem Bloom hit. It's impossible to scale. You can't give every student on Earth their own human PhD tutor. It's just too expensive.
So for 40 years, we've known the best way to learn, but we just couldn't afford it.
Until, maybe, now. Miyagi Labs is betting that generative AI is finally the thing that can democratize that Two Sigma effect. They want to build the infinite tutor.
Available 24/7 for everyone.
For basically free.
So who is building this? Because usually EdTech AI makes me think of some guys just wrapping ChatGPT in a nice website.
These founders are a bit different. They're Tyrone and Kwong. They met at MIT, CS majors, which, sounds about right.
The standard YC story.
But what I found fascinating is they aren't just engineers. They both have these really eclectic backgrounds in teaching.
Yeah, I saw their bio. It's like a random skill generator. Chess, algorithms, math, languages, and American Ninja Warrior.
That one stood out to me too.
I mean, how does teaching someone to run up a warp wall help you code an AI tutor?
Well, think about it. It shows they get that learning isn't one-dimensional. You can't learn Ninja Warrior by watching it, and you can't really learn calculus just by watching a video. You have to do it.
That learning by doing philosophy?
Exactly. They're baking it into the software.
Okay, let's get under the hood then. How does this actually work? Let's say I want to learn about the urinary system. I saw that in their demo.
A classic.
So I want to learn about kidneys. What do I do? Just paste a link?
Pretty much, yeah. You feed it a YouTube playlist or an MP4, even a PDF. The system then starts what they call a pipeline.
A pipeline.
First, it rips the transcript from the video. Then, it chops that transcript into chunks.
To keep the AI focused.
Exactly. It's a context window issue, so it chunks it. Then it runs these chunks through GPT-4o, and here's the key. It doesn't just summarize. It generates specific pedagogical tools.
Like homework assignments, on the fly.
Quizzes, multiple choice questions, short answer prompts, and it maps all of them to specific timestamps in the video.
That's fast. They only launched this, what, 3 months ago? And they have over 400 courses already.
And they're not just using random vloggers to prove it works. They've partnered with some heavy hitters. They have 3 blue, 1 brown for math.
Which is legendary.
They've got crime pays, but botany doesn't.
I love that channel. The guy with the Chicago accent yelling about plants.
Taxonomy and plant ID, to be precise.
Mhm.
And they also have official MIT OpenCourseWare stuff like poker theory. So the pipeline can clearly handle dense academic topics.
Okay, so walk me through the user experience. I paste in my urinary system video. The video pops up. How is this different from just watching it on YouTube?
So visually, it's different right away. There's a lecture list on the left, so it feels structured. But the big thing is, when the video segment ends, it doesn't just autoplay the next one. It stops you.
And hits you with what they call active recall.
For a good reason. It forces your brain to actually retrieve the information. It'll pop up a multiple choice question. Get it right, you move on. Get it wrong.
You get immediate feedback explaining why. That's the critical part.
Right. It catches your misunderstanding right when it happens. There's some gamification too, but the killer feature they're banking on is Lexi.
Lexi, the AI tutor, so it's just a chatbot.
It's a context-aware chatbot. Lexi knows the video content intimately. So you can ask, hey, I don't get the part about the glomerulus, and she guides you based on the transcripts.
This is where it gets really interesting, because AI is, well, it's still AI. I saw that story from the beta tester, Le Captain.
Ah, yes. The Batman incident.
The Batman incident. This was hilarious. So he's in an economics lecture, right? Supply and demand curves.
Serious stuff.
And just to test the limits, he asks Lexi, tell me about Batman.
A perfectly valid question. Just, not right then.
Right. A human tutor would say, focus up. But the AI got confused. It started asking for clarification. Are you interested in his origin story? Or the Christopher Nolan movies? It totally missed that it was off topic.
That's what's called drift. The AI wants to be so helpful it forgets its actual job, which is to be a strict tutor for this subject.
And there was also some critique about Lexi's personality, that she was a bit flat.
Which is a tricky balance.
Yeah.
One user suggested the tutor should adopt the persona of the video creator, so if you're watching the botany guy.
The AI would start yelling at you about chloroplasts in a Chicago accent. Get over here, look at this thing, it's beautiful.
It sounds fun. But another user, Sigma Zaletter, pointed out the danger. These quirky human AI personas usually just end up being incredibly cringy.
Total, how do you do fellow kids vibes?
Exactly. It just becomes a distraction.
Okay, so we have the demo, the Batman glitch. But let's get into the Hacker News feedback, because you know that community does not hold back.
They do not. And there was a big debate about the quality of the actual pedagogy.
The flashcards kept coming up.
Yeah, users were pretty harsh on those. They basically said the feature felt bare bones and useless. The founders even admitted it needs work.
But the bigger technical issue, and this one feels like a real hurdle, is what the AI is actually seeing.
This is a crucial limitation right now. The AI only processes the transcript, the text. Doesn't look at the video frames at all.
Oh, wait. That's a huge deal. So if I'm watching a video on, say, building a retaining wall.
A specific example a user brought up. If the host says, now cut the wood like this, and points to a diagram, the AI has no idea what this is.
That's a massive problem for anything that isn't pure theory. I mean, surgery, engineering, art.
It is. They say video frame processing is on the roadmap, but for now, the AI is flying blind on anything visual.
And that leads to the scariest part of this whole thing, the hallucination problem.
This is what user Huffer called the teacher problem.
Right. If my human teacher says the War of 1812 started in 1912, it's a slip of the tongue. We all catch it.
Sure. But if an AI hallucinates, if it confidently invents a fact that sounds plausible but is just wrong, a beginner has no way of knowing.
Because they're a beginner, that's the whole point.
Exactly. You internalize this subtle nonsense as fact. Now, Miyagi's defense is that for their official courses, the partners vet the content.
So the 3 blue 1 brown stuff is safe.
Ish. But the core promise is the Wild West feature, where you can paste in any YouTube link. In that case, there is zero human verification. You're just trusting the model.
That is terrifying. Imagine studying for a med exam with an AI that taught you the wrong location for the spleen.
It really raises the question of trust in automated education.
And speaking of creators, we have to get into the spicy zone, the ethics, the copyright.
It got pretty heated in the comments section.
A few users came out swinging. They accused the startup of basically stealing labor.
The argument is pretty simple. A creator spends 100 hours on a video. Miyagi Labs comes along, wraps in their AI, and sells the subscription. Is that adding value or is it parasitic?
The classic AI wrapper accusation.
Well, Miyagi's defense is that for partners, they do revenue share. For everyone else, they use the standard YouTube embed feature.
Which is legally allowed, right?
Embedding is. But one user, Q3K, made a really sophisticated point. They argued that by creating quizzes and summaries from the script, Miyagi is creating a derivative work.
Ooh, that sounds like lawyer talk.
It is. If you write a Harry Potter quiz book, J.K. Rowling can sue you. Miyagi is automating quiz book creation for every video on the internet. That might be a copyright violation.
And even if it's not illegal, there's the bad optics problem.
Right. They have an opt-out policy. If a creator complains, they'll take it down. But that puts the burden on the creator to police their platform.
It feels hostile, like, we used your work. If you don't like it, fill out this form.
Exactly. And another user brought up a YouTuber, Paul Tutek, who argues that AI summarization just kills the original video's value. If I can read the summary in 2 minutes, why would I watch the 20-minute video?
And that kills the creator's watch time, which kills their revenue.
It does.
What?
But the founders have a counter-argument. Their tool isn't just a summary, it's a course. Meaning the quizzes might actually force you to engage with the video more. If you get a question wrong about something at minute 14, you have to go back and re-watch minute 14.
That's a good point. You're not just skimming, you're using the video as a textbook.
It could move us from passive views to active engagement, so creators could actually benefit.
A quality over quantity shift.
Potentially. But without revenue sharing for everyone, it's a very, very gray area right now.
So we've got flaws, hallucinations, ethical landmines, but let's zoom out. Despite all that, people seem genuinely excited about this. Why?
The validation was surprisingly strong. A user named Vasusan, who's a former employee at Coursera.
The massive online course platform, an industry insider.
Yes. They say they pitched this exact idea years ago at Coursera. They saw this as the holy grail. The fact that an insider sees this as the future, that validates Miyagi's core idea.
And what about other uses? This seems perfect for language learning.
They actually built a prototype for that. But they paused it because the language market is so crowded. Duolingo, Babbel, it's a tough space.
Makes sense. Start with a broader base first, but they are branching out. I saw SAT prep and blackjack.
Yeah. Gamified trainers for skills like blackjack and chess. It shows they're thinking beyond just academic lectures. It's about skill acquisition in general.
It's a real shift from passive consumption, which is YouTube and, frankly, most of Coursera, to active participation.
That's the big picture. We spent 15 years putting the world's knowledge on video. We built the library. It's the biggest library in human history.
But we don't have enough librarians or tutors.
We need the Miyagi.
We need the Miyagi.
Exactly.
So let's wrap this up. Miyagi Labs is trying to bridge that gap between watching and actually learning. It's got major technical hurdles. That visual processing thing is a must-have, and they have to figure out how to pay creators.
The core promise is incredibly compelling, turning the entire internet into your own personal university.
So what does this all mean for us? Here's the question I want to leave you with. It's kind of a mind bender.
Go for it.
If AI can instantly generate a perfect interactive course from any piece of content, what happens to the concept of a curriculum?
That's a profound question.
Right. Do we still need structured schools, 4-year degrees, or do we just need a really good playlist and an AI tutor like Lexi to guide us?
If the AI can build the path for you as you walk it, maybe the pre-printed map becomes obsolete.
Something to think about the next time you fall down a YouTube rabbit hole. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.